Hello, my friends. Welcome back to Hack Your Thoughts, episode 40. Today is week two of our special series, Breaking Boundaries, a 3 week journey to boundlessness in mind and body. Last week, we explored what it means to break free from mental barriers, the hidden thoughts and beliefs that keep us from moving forward. But this week, I started good. I was ready to go, and I ran into resistance. Firstly, I wanted to get back in shape and keep moving, and I thought I'm going to get at least 3 30-minute workouts at home. I couldn't get to the gym because I was on the road. I was traveling. I was not home, and I had really really long days. My evenings ended at about 10 p.m. So instead of me thinking about small, easy steps, I went for the jump. And again, I hit a wall. In my mind, I had every intention of working out at least 3 days this week. I was committed, I was ready. But when it came to time to actually start, something happened. It was like my thoughts kept my body frozen, even though I was tired. Uh, or was it my body telling my mind I didn't want to do this? Don't make me do this. That is hesitation, that moment of push and pull between the mind and body is something I know we all experience. Think about it. How often do we stop ourselves before we even start? Have you ever told yourself, I don't have the energy for this, when in reality you did? Or felt like giving up during a workout, not because your body was done, but because your thoughts said so? So that's what we're hacking today. This episode is called The Resistance Hack, Mind and Body in Sync. And it's all about recognizing resistance, how it shows up, why it happens, and most importantly, how to hack it. Because when the mind and body are working together, that's when real breakthroughs happen. And I'm not doing this alone. I've invited someone who's been on this journey with me, my personal trainer, Kevin Perez. I'm thrilled to have him. He's seen firsthand how we hold ourselves back, both mentally and physically, and he's here to help us break through that resistance. So, how do we stop talking ourselves out of progress? How do we catch that hesitation in the moment and hack it? How do we build strength in both mind and body, not just to push through, but to thrive? We're diving into all that right after the short break. Stay with me. Welcome to Coach Chloe, the journey to self love. Welcome back. Let's continue our 3 week journey to boundlessness in mind and body. And today, like I said, is all about the resistance hack. I'm so excited to have Kevin Perez, my personal trainer, with me today. Kevin, welcome. Great to have you as my guest.
Good morning. Thank you for having me, Chloe. I appreciate it. I'm Kevin. I'm the general manager at Glen Point Fitness, the head trainer. I'm NASM certified, and I've been training people for over 12 years.
Well, Kevin, you are a lifesaver for me.
Try my best.
You're a fantastic coach. You keep me going. You do it with strength and firmness and kindness all in one. So, thank you for being on this journey with me.
Of
And I
course,
know it's not always been easy.
it's never going to be easy. That's the thing. As long as we accept it's never easy, then we understand the hard times and the good times.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get into our conversation on how to hack resistance. From your perspective, what are the biggest mental and physical barriers that keep people from reaching their full potential?
Many times, it's always going to be the mental part of it first. We essentially, or my clients essentially, already on a negative thought before their days even started. They're just giving themselves too many excuses as to why they can't do it or why they won't do it, and so they're already starting off on a bad foot. And I try to get into their heads and I try to have the conversation with them and tell them, change the way you think and change the way you say the things, and just completely keep on saying them to yourself in a positive light, rather than, oh, I won't have time today, rather than, I have to work out today, I will work out today. I
Mm.
got 40 minutes to do something, I got 50 minutes to do something. There's always going to be a good excuse to not do it, but the main reason to do it is the one you got to really stick to. You got to keep on telling yourself the same thing all the time, because it's never going to be a perfect workout, it's never going to be a perfect day. And if we just keep on sitting on that, then we're never going to get to work out again.
Wow. Two things that you just said that simple and yet so powerful. Change the way you think, and there's always going to be a good excuse. How true that is. We always find good excuses
Yes.
why we cannot do something or why things are the way they are. What do people misunderstand about progress in fitness and mind? What beliefs? What are they
the
believing?
the biggest downset that we have is we see we forget where we are today, but the only thing in mind that we have is the end line. And when you people tend to start and they get committed and they don't see that that end line is anywhere close, that's where they start to draw back, right? I've got 20 miles that I want to be able to do by the end of my training. Well, you started on one yesterday, you're at 1.5 today. There's no way you're going to do 20 today, right? And so that's always the biggest downfall. Like, I want to lose this amount of weight, and the only thing that they see is losing that weight. And when they see that that needle doesn't move, or it moves just a little, they start to think that it's not possible.
Mm,
And that's where they start to fall back. It's like, I didn't lose any weight this week, it's okay, it doesn't matter, so I won't work out this week, I won't work out next week, and then I'll get started again. And then before you know it, that time is gone and you've lost nothing.
yeah.
The eye
Yeah.
is just at the end line rather than just focusing on where we are at today.
It's funny, in life, it's all about instant gratification. We want it done now. And it's a lot of things don't get done now. It's a process.
Right.
So and when I got back on this journey, it's been tough because I sprained my ankle. I couldn't move. Then I had that slip disc. So many different things with golf and whatever um, which held me back. And so when I wanted to get back last week, I thought, I'm going to get into this here. I can't get to Kevin. I'm traveling. Let me see if I can do something at home. You talked about you. I know all
Hmm.
the resistant band exercises that you've done with me. And I thought I'm going to do 30 minutes. So I'm looking for 30 minutes. I didn't have that.
Yeah.
Instead of thinking, let me do 5 minutes every day. But because I went big, I
Yeah.
couldn't
You
get it done. So,
100%. We always think it and we see it. We say my workout's gonna take an hour today. I don't have any time.
yeah.
Well, just do 5 minutes, do 10 minutes, and slowly
Mhm.
start to get back to it. Almost like what you said with your ankle. If you remember, I was like, your ankle hurts, it's hurt, and it's injured. I was like, do you have another ankle available? You were like, yes. And I was like, does that one work? You were like, yes. I was like, okay, so we could do the rest of the body. So
Yeah.
we can do the rest of it.
Wow. Okay. So, I talk a lot about catching and hacking our thoughts. Catch the thought that's going to take us in that downward spiral and
Hmm.
just hack it. Um, how can people apply this to their workouts?
The best way to do it is you have to have a plan in action, and it has to be a very, very accomplishable goal. It has to be very easy to accomplish. And the best way to continually keep doing it is being disciplined on accomplishing those small goals, so that you go into it with the thought, again, not that you can't do it, but that you will do it, right? So it's consistent. It's always having the conversation with yourself, reminding yourself, I have to do this, I will do this, I'm going to do this. And that's how you get into it. Because when you start to hear yourself and you're saying and you're planning and you're telling yourself no, you're already setting yourself back, rather than doing the same thing, planning it, but saying it in a positive light will get you to do that. You will find the time, you will make the time, you will get the time.
Mm. And just to play on the words of can do and will do already changes and starts to hack how
Yes.
we're thinking.
Yes.
So all that excuse earlier when you talked about we come up with good excuses, we have to hack that excuse. And if I say, I can, I'm not really hacking that excuse. I'm giving, the more we
Keep giving into
fuel that excuse and give it life, the more we move away from,
Yes.
and the resistance is gets we get further and further away from where we need to be.
Right. Whatever pile you invest in more is the one that's going to grow. You invest more in the negative thought, that one will grow. You invest more in the positive, that one will grow.
Yeah.
So it's just about literally just switching the mindset and telling yourself you can and will. You do it often enough, trust me, you'll get to it. You'll do it.
Yeah. Um, what's a common self-limiting belief that you see in clients, and how do you help them to hack that?
Um,
What are they usually saying?
so the majority of the time, on a one-on-one situation, um, I'll give a client a weight, they'll see the weight, and they'll immediately tell me I can't do that. And then I'll ask them, why can't you do it? They're like, I don't know. I was like, well, you haven't even tried it. And I was like, excuse me if I sound rude. I'll say, I'm the professional here. I know exactly what you can do, just a little bit more than you can. I'll say, just trust me, and you won't know until you try. And guess what? If you fail, then we scale back and we try again. But you don't know until you try it. And they
Yeah,
just come. It's that mindset is that I can't do before even doing, before even
yeah,
trying.
yeah, yeah, and that comes. It ties back to what you just talked about. I can't do it. So the flip is I can do it, but that's not enough. It's I will do
I will
this.
do it. Yes.
That I will do it feels like I'm committing to this. Yeah.
Yes. My response is when I can't do that way, I says, "You'll do it. You will." And
Yeah.
then we figure out from there.
Yeah. Because I know there are moments where my mind, it just tried to stop me. I'm like, Kevin, I
Those
don't want to
kettlebells.
be here.
Those
I'm telling you,
kettlebells.
I don't want to be here.
I know. I know. And when you look at those kettlebells, like Kevin, I can't do that. And then I do this. I'm saying, Chloe, yes, you can.
Yeah, yeah.
And then we go for
Yeah,
it.
I will never forget the one thing that you said, no, I don't think I can do that. I can't do that. You said, okay, let's do it. And then you got me to do something. And I'm like, okay, I was doing it. I
Yeah,
didn't know.
you didn't
I
know.
was stuck in my mind. I couldn't do that. And the
Right away.
next minute, my body knew something that I didn't know.
Yes.
Whether it was, and that's kind of where I feel like we get tripped up.
Yes.
Is my body talking to me, or is my mind
Mind.
saying
Yes.
something? Is my
Yes.
body saying, "Oh, it's so tired. I don't. It's lazy. Don't want to get up." All that stuff. Um,
You got to
okay,
cross that bridge.
yeah. So, what does physical training teach us about handling setbacks in life?
Uh, Physical training kind of puts us in the mindset and the idea of that things grow, and when they're meant to grow, it's always an up and downhill battle. But as long as the trajectory is still always going up, right? Because I can tell you, as a trainer myself and someone who works out, I don't wake up every morning saying I'm super excited for today's workout. The motivation isn't there every day. No one's tapping me on the shoulder and telling me you did a great job today, go for it, right? But I do it because it's part of my plan, it's in my discipline. And so, yes, sometimes I have a terrible workout, but at the end of the day, the setbacks always end up going slowly up and down, but the trajectory is always going up as long as I stay consistent with it.
Yeah, I like your what the phrase that you just said. It's in my discipline. It's in my discipline. I think that's a fantastic hack. It's in my discipline. So, for those that are listening out there, just, grab a pen and paper and write that down. It's in my discipline.
Burn it in your mind.
What's in your discipline? Think about
Yes.
that. What's a simple but powerful shift that can help people, someone feel stronger mentally and physically?
Um, it's putting a full effort into something will give you a quick gratification mentally and physically. So when you decide to do something, do it with a full effort. There's something about giving something a full effort that kind of just releases those chemicals, that dopamine in your body, that
Mm-hmm,
rewards you, and
mm-hmm,
you feel so much better when you actually tried really hard to do something, and it just feels even better when you did it from trying so hard. So that's one of the few things that I like to tell people all the time. If you're gonna do it with a full effort, because a full effort for a short amount of time rather than no effort for a long amount of time definitely pays off more with a full effort
mm-hmm.
all the time.
That's great. What would you say? Say if I wanted to, I want, I'm not in full effort. What could I say to myself in that moment to get me to think with full effort, or to make me feel that I'm putting in full effort? What could I say?
So you give yourself a time frame, accomplishable time frame, and you tell yourself, in this amount of time, I am going to only be thinking about what I'm doing now. I'm going to be only, and I'll talk to myself too. I'll just tell myself, like in a full rep, I'm going one more, one more, one more, one more, until officially that one more isn't realistic. Like my arms will not move anymore. I'm breathing really heavy. I've pushed, but everything I've done is only in the mindset of what I'm doing at this moment, right? I'm not looking around. I'm not thinking about anything else. It's literally within a 15-second to a minute window where my mind is only on what I'm doing right now until I can no longer do that physically.
Okay, that is something I'm going to try.
Full
The
max effort.
15-second window where you just say one more, just 15 seconds is nothing,
Nothing. It's
nothing.
nothing.
And if we can, in that 15 seconds, overcome that, it feels like you've accomplished something to get to the next 15 seconds,
Yes, exactly.
So that is something I'm going to try. Um, so, we're coming to the end of our program here. If there's one thing you'd want people to take away from today, what would that be?
Um, I'd want people to accept and acknowledge the small efforts that they put in. Um, Always be grateful of accomplishing today, and be worrying about doing again tomorrow, and just keep the mindset on the end goal, but that's not where your vision is right now. Keep your mindset on the small things we have planned today. Get those small check marks in for the goals we have planned today, and then now we're worried about the next day. And before you know it, the progression starts to get there, that we forget where we started, right? And then as long as we're paying attention where we started, where we're at, then we'll eventually get to where we want to go.
Yeah. So many of us just forget about accepting and acknowledging the small wins, the
Yes.
small little efforts, because we always focused on that end goal. It's great to have that end goal and keep it there,
Yes.
but the celebrating those small wins and those small moments, the small efforts now gets us to that.
Yes.
I love that.
Yes.
What's a small challenge we all can try before next week? What can I
Like
try?
for everyone to put 45 minutes in their schedule and break it down however you want in a week. If it needs to be 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, 5 minutes there, get 45 minutes of whatever it is that's undistracted, fully committed, fully effort to your goal, to your whatever it is that you'd like to do. You want to get 45 minutes of walking in. Don't talk to anyone. Don't look at anyone. Don't look at your phone. Get 5 minutes in and slowly increase those increments week by week, and you'll start to see how the time starts to open up for what it is that you'd like to do.
I'm going to try it. I'm going to try it. There's so many powerful things that I've heard you say today. Um, Starting with not can do, but will do it. It's in my discipline.
Yes.
It's in my discipline. Having language like that, I mean, I don't even talk that language. It's in my discipline. I don't talk that, but it's in my discipline to do something. It's in my discipline. So I absolutely love that.
Yep.
Full effort, coming in with full effort, that 15-second rule that you have. One more, one more, one more. Um, and then celebrating those small little wins across the when we, instead of always keeping our mind on the end, but still celebrating the small efforts that we put in.
Yes. Appreciate the journey.
Yes, yeah. And finally, for all of you listening, 45 minutes across the week, undistracted. That's your challenge. Let's
That's
see what happens.
Put it on pen and
Um,
paper, put it on schedule, and get it done.
all right, yeah. Put it on schedule. That is true. Scheduling things helps you get it done.
Yes.
Because if it's only here, It's hard to get.
We'll always
Yeah,
find an excuse.
yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah, that's the other thing that I took away from today. We all come up with good excuses. It's always good excuses that are not good for us.
Exactly.
Kevin, what a pleasure
Thank you.
to
You too.
have you on our show today, and next week we're also going to have you. Thank you for the time. So everybody, this week was all about the resistance hack, mind and body in sync. Trust me, I felt it. In my mind, I knew that I wanted to work out those 3 days. And then when the time came, my thoughts froze. So here's a hack that I was trying. When my thoughts kept my body frozen, uh, I'm going to say to myself, body, I'm listening. We're on the same team. Let's move.
Let's move.
Right. And then when my body resists and doesn't feel like it, and so this is what I'm going to say to my mind, we're in charge here. We move, we act, we conquer. So small little positive hacks that can shift the way we think. It's like, cracking a code. Just keep trying different combinations until that
Yeah.
lock opens, until something clicks. And
Yeah.
consistency, like you said earlier, Kevin, is key. Being consistent. The more we practice, the easier it gets for our brain to respond in new and positive ways, like you said also. I'm getting ready to hack this week. Next week, we'll dive into the flow hack. So, how do we fuel our mind and body? We're going to explore food, nutrition, water, sleep, that impact on our physical strength and our mindset and motivation. And I'm going to be sitting down again with Kevin to unpack it all. You don't want to miss it. Until then, pay attention to where resistance shows up for you. What's holding you back? Your body or your mind? Think about it this week. Keep that 45 minutes across the week, undistracted time. And say to yourself, this
I
is my
will.
discipline. Right. Uh, Kevin, thank you so much for coming on the show. Until next week, everybody, stay healthy, celebrate those small efforts.